Hey everyone, how's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode, Coffee with Coach. Hope you're up doing well. Got the mind in the right place. If not, as always, let's put it in the right place. So I want to share something with you guys that I just stumbled upon this morning, listening to some more Andy Frisella, and I listened to this video before, but I didn't really catch what he said because it's like a 30-minute video. Because he says a lot of things that are really good, and so sometimes I just catch things at different times. But he was talking about entrepreneurs and just people in general. Of like he just said you deserve to be where you're at right now, whether that's in a good place or a bad place. He said depending on your previous choices, you deserve to be where you're at. And like I said, he said, as far as a bad thing, he goes, if it's a bad thing for you and you're not happy with where you're at in life, job, as a person, relationships, family, goals, all those things together. He said, if you go back to, I think he said like the past 10 years and track some of your decision making and some of the habits that you've created, then you deserve to be where you're at. He goes, on the other side of that, if you've been doing the right things, putting yourself in the right places and around the right people, making the right decisions, staying away from things that you're supposed to stay away from, then you deserve to be where you're at in a good place. He always talks about like, you can change these things. So, if you're in a good place right now, the goal, is always to like try to do more, try to do better. There's always room for improvement. And then if you're not in the right place, you can easily change that with some of the decision making that you're going to do in the future. Make some better choices, change some habits that have put you in the position that you're in right now. And I I like that because I was watching the Lions and the Dolphins play yesterday, and on both sides of the team, they have a player that the announcers were talking about. On the Miami Dolphins, I don't remember the guys' names because it was kind of fast. I just remember the story. There's a Michigan native, so someone from Michigan, which captured my attention because I'm from Michigan, born and raised. But the guy was from Michigan. I think he graduated from Ferris State, and he didn't get drafted or anything like that. Really couldn't find, nothing in the NFL. So he was just working at a stamping plant. In Michigan, they have a lot of, GM, Ford. And so you have all these feeder plants, stamping plants and stuff like that feed into those bigger plants. And he said he was working like 12-hour days, 6 days a week. And he goes, something about, this just isn't where I should be. I need to make some decisions. And whatever those decisions he made, because they didn't really go too much into the story, they just kind of just went over it, like I said, pretty fast. But they did say that he goes, I belong, or I deserve to be in the NFL. So he made whatever changes he had to make, and he is in the NFL. And actually, they brought him up because he made a really good play yesterday. And from being from Michigan, he had a lot of support there, whatever, even though there's Miami Dolphins. And so it was good. It was really good. I've worked in those kind of plants. I can relate to those kind of stories. I've worked those 10, 12-hour shifts, 6 days a week. I know what that's like. And just like I made a decision to quit General Motors and go for what I'm doing now, and it's the best decision I ever made. The other side of that is I could have easily stayed there, but I decided to change. I decided to not do that no more and make some choices and better decisions to put myself in a position where I'm at now. And on the Lions side, there was a similar story. A guy made a play, and they brought up his name, and they were talking about. I think he graduated from college. And I think he didn't get drafted either. He couldn't find any team to pick him up. So he was a school teacher for a couple years. Okay, And then I want to say it was the USFL or one of the smaller minor league football leagues. He started to play in that. And that's where the Lions saw him play, and they picked him up and they put him on the team. And he made some good play yesterday, like I said, and so they brought up the name. So I just thought that was very cool how you just got two individuals where, you know, they just decided, like, to make a change, because up until that point, they deserved to be where they were at, you know. They just, maybe they did work really hard. I don't know all of their story, but either way, they had to have done something more. They made some other decisions, created some other habits, done some other things, and now they're playing in the NFL. When they were just previously, a couple years before that, working just some, you know, one's working at a stamping plant, one's a school teacher, you know. So, and now they're doing what they love to do. But something in their mind had to have changed. Something in their mind had to have been like, you know what, this isn't for me. This can't stay this way. It can't be this way. So they made those changes. And that just, this morning when I'm listening, when I'm working out, I'm listening to, you know, you deserve to be where you're at. And I like that, because wherever you're at right now, you've earned that position. You've earned that place, whether it's a good place or a bad place. You know, I know a lot of people, I rub people, I don't know if it's the word rub people the wrong way, but I get a lot of people's nerves, because if I come across someone, I meet someone, and I know that they have the potential to do better, or they should be doing better because they're just doing average, mediocre stuff, you know, I bring those things to light, and I bring those things to their attention. And they know it's true. They know it's true. They know that they can be doing better. They're just not doing better. Whether, again, like I always bring it up, credit scores, credit, you know, your finances, you know, how much money do you have saved, you know, your eating habits, healthy, you know, you're working out, not working out, you know, are you doing things that are putting you in the position to be better? And a lot of people are not, because for one, they're just lazy. And sometimes too, maybe they are. They're just happy where they're at. They're just like super content. Like they don't want anything else but just mediocre or average, or even a little bit below that. But then you have those other people where they do want more, but they're just not doing the actions to put them in those positions. And so when Andy Priscilla said that, you know, it just hit like, yeah, that's true. Then that's where I come in at, because I'm always having these conversations with people, because it just is what it is. I hang out because most of the friends and family that I do hang out with, or that they're not entrepreneurs, they don't have their own businesses. They're not doing the things that I'm doing. So the conversations are always going to be hard, because what they're talking about isn't really what I want to talk about, and what I want to talk about, they don't really want to talk about. But their family and their friends, and it, you know, you got to be around them at some point. And so, you know, when you're hanging out long enough, these kind of things come up, and I'm trying to be always in the position where, like, I want to be around people that think like me, that do things like me, so that I can learn and grow and become better. That's why I push so much of this stuff on my students, because I spend a lot of time with them day in and day out. I see these people on a you know, a heavy basis. You know, it's all the time. And so I'm always talking about, you know, their cleanliness, what they look like, how they, you know, the credit scores, what they're eating, their health, everything, because all of that stuff matters. Because if my students are doing really good in all these areas, then I'm gonna continue to do good. But if I have a team and a mat full of people, 30, 40, 50 people, sometimes 60 on just a regular night, and all these people are just doing kind of average things, well, eventually that's going to filter into me. But if I'm on a mat with 30, 40, 50, 60 people that are doing really, really good because they're taking care of their health and their finances, and you know, just doing good things, then I'm gonna continue to do good things. And even with our kids program, you know, I'm pretty hard on the kids with their neatness, how they tie their belt, you know, how they stand to attention, like all these things, because they matter. We talk about with the kids, like, doing their chores at home and fixing their bed every morning and eating healthy breakfast. And if they don't, we give them push-ups and burpees for stuff like that because it matters, because it matters. So you are where you are, or you are where you're at because you deserve to be there. You've put yourself from your previous habits in your decision-making where you're at right now. And yeah, some people got it worse than others, and some people are born with things and privileges and stuff like that, but that doesn't matter. It's like those two stories that I just shared from the Miami Dolphins and the Lions. Like, these guys were just in a position where, like, something in there at some point was like, life has to be better than this. But in order for it to get better, I got to make some different decisions, And again, I was in the same position. That's why I moved from Michigan. That's why I quit my job at General Motors and put myself in the position where I'm at now, and I'm doing way better. And I want to continue to do that. In order to do that, I need to make sure that I'm around people that are thinking, at least, in the same atmosphere of the mindset that I have, and to put myself around those kind of people because it matters. So if you're not happy with where you're at, start making some changes like today. Like it's October 31st. We got 2 months left of the year. Don't wait till the new year to start making these changes and these resolutions and these things that you're going to shift. If you start making them now, come the new year, man, you're way ahead of the curve and way ahead of everyone else. And you're just going to do a lot better than most people because you're already making those mental shifts. Because a lot of it's just mental. A lot of it's mental. Okay. And then the other part is physical. The things that you're, it really, really just comes down to, how you take care of yourself, man. If your mental game is right and you're thinking and you're putting the right things in your mind and you're taking care of your finances, or at least trying to go in those directions where your finances are good, then things are naturally going to be better. They're going to work itself out. But, I did the episode not that long ago about how you label yourself, how you talk about yourself. You're not taking care of your finances. You're wasting money. You don't have no savings. You don't have any good credit. You got a crappy looking, like, I wasn't say like crappy car, because you can have a crappy car. Like, maybe that's just all you could get right now, but it's clean on the inside and on the outside, like that stuff doesn't matter. Take care of the things and take care of your things, and those things will take care of you. I use that in jiu-jitsu all the time. Like, hey, you take care of your body, it'll take care of you. When you need it to perform on the mat, it'll perform for you. But if you don't treat it right and feed it right and give it the right nutrients and hydration, it will break down on you in the middle of a match or the middle of a round during practice. So just the stuff to think about. It's really, really good stuff, because I feel like more and more people need to hear that. They need to hear that. Like, you are where you're at because you deserve to be there. You put yourself there. Sometimes life puts us in certain situations, but just like the things that I shared today, you can change those. Those guys the one guy for the Miami Dolphins could have still been working at the stamping plant if he didn't make a mental decision. And the other guy could be still a school teacher, but now they're both playing for the NFL, doing what they love to do, making a lot more money, probably have a lot more freedoms, for sure have a lot more freedoms than working 12-hour shifts, or being a school teacher and dealing with kids all day. Not like that's not a bad thing, because we need those, right? But that's not what he wanted to do for the rest of his life. So these guys made those changes. So good stuff. All right. Got to head up to the school, get some training in. Catch you guys on the next one. Have a good day.